freezing cold because I want to talk to you guys in nature. Um, is probably one of the more important talks I've had. And I'm going to pull some cards, so um, if you don't like that, you can exit, hit the X, exit stage left. This is for the collective, light workers and starseeds. Those who want the truth, those who want to know the truth, so that you can finally be free of, hear that in the background? Every single time I come on here, man, the emergency stuff goes off. So, it's an emergency again. Thank you for coming on. Whoever's on here, hello. One of the biggest things as far as a lesson for my life, this my 45 years of life, was getting to know who I am, my true self, what I like, what I don't like, why the certain bents that I have, coming to terms with the trauma of my childhood, my adulthood, and the cyclical cycles that I've dealt with people, other humans, that were all for a lesson. It was all to, for my growth and for me to be able to extend that to the collective. My whole 3 years on YouTube, I bared my soul. You saw the good, the bad, the ugly come from Blue Flame. Yes, you did. Do I feel bad about anything that I've said or done? Some things are probably inappropriate, absolutely, but they were appropriate at the time. Usually when I'm tapped in, I'm not the only one going through things. I have this ability to be able to feel esoterically into where people are at and whoever gets on my live stream. And other people can do this as well. This isn't just me. Y'all know this. But I'm going to be dropping some hard truths today. Especially if you're an empath. This also has to do with the super empath and why you trigger the behavior and expose it and bring it to light in the darkness of other people, especially if they have a sociopathic or narcissistic bent. There's a reason for that. You are that light. You are that salt. You are that spark that they can't get away from, okay? They know this. They can't take, like, they're magnetically drawn to you because of the trauma that you still have within. Okay? We can't fault them for that. Because they're dealing with trauma and they don't know how to deal with it, okay? I'm not saying try to change their outlook or their bent. You can't control. One of the things that I've been talking about consecutively is we can't control other people. We can only control ourselves, our emotions, the way we spend our time, who we spend our time with. And when you feel like you can't get away from somebody, it's an energetic tie. It's a soul tie, okay? Most people don't understand how soul ties really work. Okay? They could be through friendships. They could be through interpersonal relationships as far as romantic relationships. They can be with your parents. You can have a soul tie with. It's the cycle of karma. Now, as far as super empaths go, you're manifested in this time Oh, look at that, Eight of Cups. You are manifested in this time to lead the way and walk away from things that don't serve you. And those emotional lessons that you've learned, you're supposed to take those emotional lessons with you. As you see, she's walking toward the sun. I don't know if you can see this card real well, but she is. She's walking away from the emotional baggage that other people have laid on her. Ten of Swords. She's letting it go. She's letting them go. All that dark energy right now can be towered. Okay? Blue flame bringing you the light right now. For your transformation, as you see the butterflies in there. This is a very transformative time. Yes. Narcissists are our greatest teachers. Okay? If we look at it that way, they're our greatest tests. And it's not even about defeating them. It's about learning the lesson and keep it stepping. It's about learning the lesson and allowing people to be who they are. Nobody likes to be stifled. Nobody likes to have opposition everywhere you go. And nobody really tries to trigger people. Well, some people do. But they're usually low vibrational, and you can usually tell. Your goal is to not allow it to trigger you anymore. To keep even and come up higher in your vibration and frequency. To overcome any religious constraints that you have, because that blocks your spirituality. If you're like, oh, I'm this way and I'm this way and I believe this because this is why, and because it was taught to me from and programmed into your DNA from the time you were born and even prior to that. It's karmic and ancestral. Now, life is too short to be sitting in your house sulking over somebody or people, and most people, this has to do with relationships, and that's one of the things I found with doing tarot. I found some very wounded and hurt souls, and I've helped them get free of those karmic, tragic ties that have been holding them back. Now, here's the thing. We hold ourselves back. That's one of the, I've held myself back. I'm not just speaking to you, this is speaking to me as well. I've held myself back because I know, I understand the power that I hold through the spoken word. And I know that it's that's why life and death are in the power of the tongue. What you speak can be made manifest. When you speak out your mouth, and we're considering the North and South Node is in an air sign and a fire sign, that's taking action. And it's moving forward with movement, passionate movement. It's higher philosophies. There's some philosophies that need eclipsed out of your life for you to be able to proceed forward into this next phase, because we are going into a whole new phase right now. We have Saturn that just went into Aquarius, and Jupiter is there, coming into there as well. So we're about to have a major shift in collective energy. The moon is in Aquarius as well. I think it soon moves into Pisces. So I think you guys will be getting this revelation, or it'll be downloaded into you of what I'm speaking to you, especially be taking inventory of what your thoughts are telling you. Now, collectively, there's the Empress and the Ace of Swords. Here's your truth. Y'all know what the truth is, okay? So, Queen of Swords. The thing is, what are you going to do with the truth that you know? You're going to sit there and sulk? You're going to sit there and let it get you down? If you cannot control something, and you're back and forth in your mind, and you're like juggling, do I, don't I? Something has to drop here. It's all about having a firm foundation. The Page of Pentacles. This has been a very slow cycle that many of us have had to deal with. Very slow. And there's a new beginning. A lot of people have just been in this Four of Cups energy like, this really sucks. These lockdowns suck. This government sucks. How do we get out of it? Eight of Pentacles. Taking inventory on what really matters in your life. If you have a job you hate, and you're like sitting there bored all the time, like, this isn't fulfilling me. This is not emotionally fulfilling me. Take inventory as to why. And then take action. There's that 2 again. There's another 2. It's time to get moving, collective. Ace of Pentacles. There's choose. You already know the truth about certain situations. There were some karmic contracts that are unraveling right now. And some new ones that want to come in, but you have got to let the old go. You have to. Especially when it comes to the Seven of Swords people. This can be taken both ways, whether you're plan, plotting, and strategizing for a new beginning, for a better beginning. This is also reflecting and having those thoughts coming back into your mind about these old contracts that are unraveling. Good morning, Queen of Swords. How are you? Beloved in the building with Temperance. Balancing out the fire element and the water element. It creates steam. Creates a synergy. Sure, we want these Seven of Swords people out of our lives. However, those Seven of Swords people came to teach you about these karmic contracts that are slowly unraveling right now so that the new beginning can come in. But you have to take action. If something is boring to you and you're like, eh, especially if it's a job, things have been really moving slowly. We know this. They have. Death card. Blessings to you as well. Death and rebirth. This isn't just death. This is the new rebirth of your soul. Now, one of the gifts that has been given to everybody, if they can tap into it, is the gift of their own intuition, their own gut instinct. Take an inventory of what serves you and what does not. And you have to let things fall away so that a rebirth can take place. Okay? Thank goodness for the new channels that did come out um, exposing and teaching about what a super empath is, what and how special a super empath is. They do have narcissistic traits. I myself have lots of them. I've embraced them. I use my traits for good, though. I try to. Absolutely. Sometimes I can really, and we all know this, I explode. So, my apologies for when I do that. It hasn't always been beautiful. It hasn't been perfect. I've never claimed to be on here. Some people just come on here and they put on this facade that their life is all together, and it's not. Behind the scenes, they are crumbling. We super empaths were made for this time. You were created for this. To be a light in a very dark place. And one of the things that I can say, as far as those of us who have pulled in, some people can say, oh, well, I pulled it in because there's still something in me as far as like more negative, nasty energies with people that they're carrying. Look, if you pulled in narc after narc after narc after narc after narc, that was for your benefit. I know that sounds paradoxical, but there was a lesson as to why. Yep. There was a lesson as to why. And it was different types of narcs that I've dealt with them all. I've dealt with them all. Work, family, interpersonal relationships. Yeah. Close family, not so close family. Friends. Absolutely. They're just programmed. And when you are changing and leveling up, and the universe is working through you because this is your time, it's going to trigger people in your past that are programmed, that know you one way. They still think you're still that same person. They don't realize you're no longer that person. Or that you're changing internally. They still see the outward appearance. They can't get past the outward appearance because they're not tuned in. And one of the things, as far as a super empath, you're going to understand this. You, at least for me, this has happened for me, is your very presence is going to create an almost like an energetic uncomfortability for people that they know that they're not where you're at. That bothers them because they want to keep you down. They want to keep you the same because they don't want you to, the shift to take place. They don't want you shifting. They want you pulled down. Because once we get this, and once we really understand this, and we start feeling blessed for the experiences that we've had, and learn from them, what other people do, what other people say, smear campaigns, all of that, you could be like, that's your opinion, you're entitled to it. Whether I agree with it or not, okay, that's fine. You feel the way you feel about whether it's true or not. Whether it's true or not. Let them have misconceptions. You know the truth internally, and this is why you need to take inventory inside. Okay? Some of us have, like I said, with that Four of Cups, have just been like, when is this going to change? Like, it changes with you. You could have changed it the whole time. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz with Dorothy with those ruby red slippers. She could have went home at any given time. But she had to learn some lessons along the way about teamwork, about helping other people. Um, that there was real evil in the world. Well, not usually. I'm not usually the last call anymore. um, let people be who they are. Love. That's what unconditional love is. Not hate them because they're not like us. It's almost the same thing. They hate you for who you are. You hate them for what they are. It's all about hate instead of being like, okay, you are who you are. Okay. Give them over to the universe. Let them be who they are. We cannot change anybody. That's only for God to do. Only the creator of the universe. You have to understand the creator of the universe created them too. The creator of the universe still loves them. The creator of the universe created you the way you are. The creator of the universe loves you very much. The creator loves them too. The thing is where we go wrong is we want to control and make them change. And that's where our ego had to get crushed. It needed crushed. We went through a crushing so that we knew coming into this time about humility and unconditional love, letting forgiveness rest in you, forgiving yourself first. I've been preaching this and teaching this since day one. Even though I get angry and even though letting that forgiveness that you hold within you out. You can release your good energy into your auric field and push it out. And of course, when that happens, you're going to start seeing manifestations, like big time, legit manifestations of energy that is demonic most times. A lot of times people get worse before they get better. That's just the truth, especially when you try and push against the grain. When you try and force somebody to be somebody that they're not, pushing against a brick wall. You're actually, instead of going with the flow, you're going exactly against it. Some people have to learn their own lessons. Some of those lessons aren't too nice. And usually the universe got them. One way or another. But your lesson as a super empath, an energy worker, or any of that kind of stuff, is to take care of yourself first. Which many of us did not do for how long? We've allowed circumstances to dictate the way we think about ourselves when there was really nothing wrong with you. It had everything to do with the other person. Does that make sense? I think this makes a lot of sense. So learning not to control and just going with the flow. Well, this isn't even about this is just about taking the inventory about who you really are. Embracing the good and the bad and the ugly. And letting it come forth and saying, universe, you know what? These are the things that I see. I know that you love me unconditionally. These are the things that other people find undesirable about me. What do you say, God? And if they need changed, please help me change them. Help me see. Now I'm going to go on and I'm going to tell you a dream that I had, which is a very prophetic dream. And this dream happened. It was Saturday into Sunday night. And I told the peace dealer about it, and I told Alana about it. And it woke me straight up out of my sleep. And it's prophetic, so I believe it's for my collective. Yes, many of us had our hearts closed off though, Chris. Many of us couldn't. If there was blocks, and you know this, there was blocks. That heart chakra was closed off because we had barriers up for protection of our own heart and our own self-preservation, and super empaths will do that. We will put up a blockage. It's called no contact. We'll put up, but we're learning how to put up an energetic blockage at this point. They can't penetrate that. It will, and that in itself will trigger as well. Usually a violent reaction or a non-desirable reaction. The dream that I had, and it was weird, very strange, because personally, I don't like snakes, and I really don't like spiders, okay? And I had a dream I was at a cabin. And this cabin was in the woods, which I love the woods, but it was like a dilapidated, it was okay. It was an okay cabin. But it wasn't like, you know, a beautiful, gorgeous, cabin with like fire and, just, it was an old dilapidated cabin. And I noticed there was one white wall, and I noticed like 7 or 8 spiders all conglomerating together. And I sat there and I'm like, that's a wolf spider, that's a this, there was different kinds of spiders that all came and were all in this conglomerated into this one spot. I look over because I hear a weird hissing sound at the door of the cabin, which was in the kitchen. And I see a copperhead snake slither in, and it was a big one. It wasn't just like a baby snake. No, this sucker was huge. Slither into the door. My uncle was in this dream. One that I barely even talked to. I might have been subconsciously thinking of him because he was shot during hunting season by accident, and he was shot in the elbow. Either way, long story short, he ended up smashing this copperhead snake in the door. The one thing about the snake, it didn't have snake eyes. It had human eyes with eyelashes. Like, it can blink. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I'm like, oh, I don't like snakes. So, like, I immediately wanted to escape this cabin. Like, I wanted out of there. So I'm saying, the heck with this. And I run out. Next thing, I'm trying to go to, there was a truck there. I was getting ready to jump in, and next thing there's a tree outside, and all of these snakes just start falling out of the tree. Big snakes, different kinds of snakes. And I'm like, okay, I'm surrounded. So I go back into the cabin. I grab a hold of the door handle to push it open, and it turned into a snake, and it struck me as I woke up. Now, my placement at that point, going through the chart, this is right before the eclipse. Within 24 hours of that eclipse. Are you getting me here? Snakes aren't bad in themselves. Neither are spiders. But the dream so disturbed me then I'm like, why would I be dreaming about this? Shedding old skin, shedding old ways, shedding old things, transforming myself. I can't get away from it. And the spider animals have to do with karma. The spider has to do with weaving a new way. Creativity. Spider webs are extremely creative. Using my creative side. And with different spiders all coming together, that means connecting to create something beautiful. And I really feel like that had to do with the collective. Maybe collaborating. I'm not sure. And transforming. There's a lot of people going through this right now. This eclipse is what this was for. The South Node got eclipsed. There's the South Node being in the 9th house in Sagittarius. That's my natal North Node. The moon was going over my natal North Node at 2 degrees during these dreams, okay? And then I have Neptune, my natal Neptune at 11. So while I was dreaming in Sleepland, it was transiting over my North Node and transiting over my natal Neptune. So I got, and like I said, it was a pretty disturbing dream. Don't get me wrong. It was like I got bit by this. I can't get away from it. I don't have a choice. I've been saying this. I don't have a choice except but to transform my own life. There ain't anybody else who's going to rescue Blue Flame. I got to rescue myself. There ain't anybody who can rescue you. Yes, I can help you with energy work. Yes, I can help you get ungodly soul ties to kickstart you, but you have to do the work. It's important, especially if you're a leader, especially if you've been doing this for a while. Look, we can't stay stagnant no more. Many of you know your superpowers too. One of mine has to do with triggering people to the point to where they're so pissed off and they know something's wrong and they need to break free of whatever constraint, because it's an energetic constraint. Letting go of the materialistic ideas that we think is going to make us happy. Now, y'all know, as far as where I stand political-wise, and it's not even a stance, it's what I know that God told me, you know? Look at that. The devil. That's what the third dimension is run by. Okay? So you know. Not to mention we're going into cap season. I think things are going to be really exposed. There's a Wheel of Fortune. That wheel has to turn. It can't stay stagnant anymore. Your life isn't going to stay stagnant anymore. There's the Emperor. He's been coming out a lot. Many of you have been making strategic moves behind the scenes. Many of you are calling in the masculine energy, whether it's within yourself. And this, I really feel, is what's transforming. It's been coming out in almost all my readings. If you saw the Sag reading, if you saw the Aquarius reading, or you saw the Aries reading, this Emperor, he's been showing up and showing out. Big time. That masculine energy, there's the Tower again. Boom. Blue Flame giving you the dish. Death and rebirth. That snake. The totem animal. It's the snake. Going up the totem. From the scorpion to the snake to the phoenix rising. Pow. What are you going to choose? There's the Hermit. There's that Virgo energy, getting enlightened. The next time the moon transits through Virgo, this is something I'm getting intuitively. The next time the moon transits through Virgo, of course my phone wants to die now. Go figure. Look. Five of Pentacles with the Devil card. I really feel Ace of Wands. The truth that's coming out in the collective. Ten of Pentacles. You're going to be able to practically be able to make solid and sound decisions for your life. Excellent decisions for your life. And my foot completely just went numb. I don't know if anybody else is dealing with that, but like my sciatica really was kicking in too. I could come on later. I figured I'd pull some cards to verify exactly what I'm saying and exactly what the universe has been telling me about this transformation. Aquarius and Jupiter going into, Saturn and Jupiter going into Aquarius. Good luck. What side are you going to fall on? This isn't even about good and evil anymore. This is about transmuting it. Okay? This isn't about this person's good and that person's bad. This is about you. Who are you? And who you want to be. Leaving your mark on this world. Listen, upcoming generation's going to have to say about you. This is making history, baby. This has never happened before in history. So, I love you guys. You guys take care. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, leave them down in the box. I'm actually going to go do a little bit of Christmas shopping today for my kids and my mom and dad. Yeah, go believe that. But I'm going to get out and go do what I got to do. I love you. Take care. Leave comments. Like, share, subscribe. I hope that this all resonates. Have a good one. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.